Hi guys, and welcome to this Divi theme e-commerce site build. In this series of videos we're going to be building an online e-commerce store, or an online store, or a web store, whatever you want to call it. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, in the last video we just installed WordPress, installed the Divi theme here, and installed the WooCommerce, which will enable us to add products, and also our Divi Builder plugin. So let's continue on. Let's start customizing our site now, because at the moment, as you could see just now, the site doesn't look like much at all. Not very interesting. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a logo, and here's a folder where I downloaded my plugins. I've just added a few images, some that I'm going to use for a slider. They're 1920 by 800, so they'll be for full screen there. And I've got a little logo. I've got a blue one and I've got a white one there. So I'm going to go ahead and add my logo. So if we go down to Divi, theme options, we're on the general tab here, and all we need to do is add our little logo at the top here. So I've got to upload it. At the moment there's nothing in my media library, and all I'm going to do is left click on it and drag it across there. I'm going to put a little keyword in here. I'm just going to put sale. You can put anything that pertains to your site. Really, the alt text should be describing what you've got there. But so if I put logo, hit that set at logo, and there it is there. Now if we save our changes, little green check mark, go back to the site, there we are. We've now got our little logo in there, and that will appear at the top on every page there. So let's go ahead and create our first page. Let's go down to pages, and quite surprisingly you may see that we've got a whole bunch of pages here. WooCommerce has created the cart, the checkout, the My Account, and the shop page by default. Sample page, that comes with WordPress when you install it. So we'll be dealing with these later on, but like I say, these are auto-generated by WooCommerce. So let's go ahead and add a new page by clicking the Add New button. Of course, we're going to give it a really exciting name like homepage. And again, if you want to, you can call your pages, put keywords up here if you want to help yourself in the search engine. And down below you'll see the Divi Builder that we installed last time. We'll go ahead and click on that. And straight out of the box, Divi's got a whole bunch of layouts that you can use. If we go to load layout here, it's got a whole bunch of themes that you can actually use. And if you click on one of these, it'll just install a theme with all these styles here, which is pretty awesome. But we're not going to be using any of these for what I'm doing here. We're going to build it from scratch. But like I say, if you're building more than one site, if you build sites regularly, this is why Divi is so awesome. It's got just some awesome themes that you can just one click download. You've got it. All you need to do is fill in the details, and you've got a nicely styled site up and running. But like I say, we're going to build this one from scratch, so I'm not going to use these right here. So I'll go back and I'm going to use the Divi Builder here. First thing I'm going to put in is a full width slider at the top, and that's just going to have a few pictures sliding across with some information, perhaps linking to our sale pages at a later date. So I'm going to add new section, full width section, because I want it to go the full width of the page. I'm going to go ahead and insert a module, and I want a full width slider, which is right here. And again, this is awesome. It'll let you put video backgrounds in, all kind of stuff here. So let's add our first slide. The heading's what's going to appear, and I'm going to put in something like fashion. Actually, let's put latest arrival. This is what's going to appear in the button. You don't have to have a button. Latest arrivals. This is what's going to be the large text at the top. This is going to be what's in the button, and later on I'm going to link that to one of our pages, perhaps with sale items on it or something like that. This is what we want to appear inside our little slider. That I'm going to use some dummy text. I'm going to go to a site called Lorem Ipsum. What's actually called ipsum.com, that generates dummy text, and it's great for web designers that want to show text somewhere but don't have anything to actually say at the moment, which is me at this moment in time. And I'm just going to copy a little bit of this dummy text. Obviously, if you're building a site, you're going to have some content to put in there, so let's just copy a little bit of that, go back to our thing and add the text here. Now this is what I was talking about before. This is actually the actual button where it's going to go, and at the moment I'm just going to leave it with a hashtag, which means it will just jump up to the top of the page, and I'll put in a URL when I decide where it wants to go. Slide image or slide video, you can add a little image. It'll be beside your text, or a little video if you want to. And here's the background where I want to add my image. So you can either have it as a color, as a gradient, an image, which is what I want, or you can have a full width background video. So I'm going to use an image for this particular one. So we just click on the plus button, and that opens our media library here. And here's my little folder, the one that we downloaded our plugins and theme to. I've got some prepared images in here. That's where my logo was. I'm just going to upload some that I prepared for the slider here. They're 1920 by 800 if you're interested, and it seems to work pretty well. That sort of size, you want them fairly big because they're going to be full screen. So I've just left clicked on the first one. I'm going to hold the shift key down and left click on the last one. It'll select them all, and I'm just going to go ahead and upload them. Now once they're uploaded, let's decide which one we want to put there. Let's start with that one. Again, you can put in an alt text with some keywords or something descriptive about your image. I'm not going to do that, just for its expediency, and I'm going to say set as background. So now we should have that image as our background. Parallax effect, probably not going to use that. I'll put it on I'm going to put it to CSS parallax. Well, in fact, I'll leave it off for the moment. We'll go over that later on when we've got something below it. You'll be able to see it better. So let's just save what we've got there and take a look. So I'm going to want to color that text, I imagine. Yeah, here's that text that's going to be over the top of it, and you can barely see it. So if we go to our design, let's just get out of there for a moment. We'll go up to the design tab here. Text orientation, I'm going to have my text orientated to the left. Text shadow, not sure about that for the time being. Here's our H2, which is our heading. You can choose a specific font. I'm probably going to leave it on the default for the moment, but there's a huge list of fonts that you can use here, included with Divi, which is another awesome feature. Font weight, I'll leave that as it is. For those that don't know, font weight makes it, well, like the word says, weight makes it fatter or thinner. We got regular at the moment. You can have bold, which is fatter, ultra bold, which is as fat as it gets, or light. CSS terms, it sort of ranges from 100 to I think 800, something like that. But again, I'm going to leave that as is for the moment. We can always change this later. Styles, you've got italic, you've got caps, you've got small caps, you've got underline, line through. Again, I don't want any of that. I'm going to leave the alignment as is because I've got it all going to the left at the moment. You can change these individually, which is nice. Now the text color, I'm going to make my blue color that I've used for my site here, which I know is 10 CA. And moving on down, text size, I'll leave it at the default for a minute, and letter spacing and line height. Letter spacing obviously is the space between the letters. Line height is the space between lines. If you have two lines, it's the space between 1 and 2. Text shadow, I'm going to go ahead and put it on, I think, on this. Now let's just have something like that. If I don't like it, I'll take it off. You can adjust it here. I'll leave it as the default color. I might want to make it a bluer color, but we'll see. Now here's our body text. Again, I'm going to leave all of this default. I just want to change that color to my blue color. There we are. And it was 10 CACA. Okay, so that's good. Now I am going to want to use custom styles for the button. Let's just see what we've got at the moment. The button's going to be on the left. This is padding for the actual slide itself. Hue, saturation, brightness, contrast. Play with these if you wish, and you can get some great effects going. So let's just save that and see what we've got so far. If I hit this little eyeball icon here, that's okay, it's not bad. Button, like I say, I'm going to want to change that, but the rest of it's pretty much, I think I've got a little too much text there, and of course this is on a pretty small desktop, so it'll look slightly different. That shadow behind that text is making my eyes go funny, so I think I'm going to take that off. My eyes are pretty funny anyway, they don't need any help. So let's go back in and take that shadow off. That was on the title. Here's the heading. There's the one we've got there. It's blue highlighted, so let's just hit the stop for that again. And for that button, I couldn't really see it very well. I'm going to make it the blue color, perhaps with a white outline. Don't know, let's have a look. So I'm going to use custom styles for the button. think everything was pretty good. Let's text color I'm going to leave as is, which is white. Just make sure I'll put that in there. Button background color, I'm going to use the same color. Might clash with that little color drop that I've got going on there, so let's have a look. And I can write that in there, or you can just click on here and select the color you want and find it if you want, but I have to know mine is 10 CACA, just to keep everything in line. That's the background. You can have a different border here, and you can add an icon to it. I'm not going to have that. I'm not going to have an icon on this particular button. And then you can make it different color on hover. So let's make it slightly different. Let's go to where we were, 10 CACA. This is for when you hover over it. Let's say I could bring the opacity down, or I could just make it darker, I suppose. Let's take the opacity down, or opacity down. I think if I do that, the text isn't going to stand up so much. Let's just make it a little darker by dragging this down. Again, we can always change this. Save that. Now let's take a look and see what we got here. And I want to get this first slide right, because I'm just going to pretty much copy. See, that button stands out fine, and I think that overlay color is alright, or the hover color I should say is okay. So I'm pretty happy with that. Let's go ahead and save that, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to clone this one and just change the image on it, and perhaps change the title. Obviously you're going to want to put a bit more thought in it than I do here, so let's hit the clone. I've got 4 images. You can have as few or as many as you want. Just change the titles. I really haven't got anything in mind for this, so excuse me if this is I'll take a little bit. I think actually, yeah, I want to take that off the first one because there's too much text there, but that's okay. Again, we'll make links to the different pages with what we want. Now let's just change this image to perhaps the second one. So if you click on here, there's a little trash can right there. It's hard to see because I've got a white background, but it's right on the right hand side here. So if I hit that, it's gone. Hit the plus, it'll take us to our media. Let's add the next one. So this one. Again, I'm not going to change anything else. Just going to save that. And the third one. I guess we better make those capitals, keep it in line. I'm doing this rather quickly. Again, I'm going to take that one off there and change that background image. There's a little trash can, hard to see right there. And we'll just add that one and save. I don't think I'll bother with the fourth one right now. I think you get the idea. Obviously you put in as many as you want. Let's just edit this one and take that text off there. Okay, and let's make this auto scroll. So we want to go over to our design tab again, right down at the bottom, I believe. is automatic animation. Let's go ahead and put that on. 7,000 milliseconds, so that's 7 seconds. Continue automatic slide on hover. We won't do that, so that if their mouse is on the slide, that means it won't continue to slide. In fact, let's turn that off, or turn it on so it does continue even if their mouse is on it, because there's not much information on those slides, and 7 seconds is plenty to be able to read what's on there. But again, that's up to you. It's just another option. And at the moment I've got that default as none. You can have it to fade, slide, bounce, zoom, flip, fold, roll. Let's just try one. Let's see what we've got with nothing. Of course, we'll have to wait for 7 seconds for it to roll around. There we go. That's quite general. I quite like that, but let's just change it. Let's say fold and see what the difference is. There we are. It's kind of folding in there. Again, we'll have to wait 7 seconds. I don't see an awful lot of difference there. Okay, well, I'm quite happy with the default one, which is none. So let's save that, exit. Let's put it at the top of our page here. We'll go ahead and publish this page. And let's set it as our front page. So we want to go down to Divi, to our theme customizer. Once we're in the customizer, by default it's going to show the post page, which is pretty uninteresting. So let's roll down to the home page settings here. Hit a static page. Now choose the page we just built, which is home. There it is right there. Okay, that's kind of shaping up. That's almost like I want. Our slides are working okay. I've got no color up here at the top, which is what I wanted, but that's not usually the default setting. I think usually header and navigation, it would be the primary menu. I think usually there's a color here. Yeah, background color. So if I was to put a color in yours, you may get that's if you want to color the background like that, which is kind of nice and clean looking. Yours may come up like that by default, and if you want to get rid of it like I did, so the slides go all the way up to the top, just go to the background color, drag the opacity all the way down, and there we are. Now your slides are going all the way up to the top there. Now I'm good with that, but the button's fine, images are fine, but the can't read our menu items here. Well, I'm going to have not so many menu items anyway, but let's make it so we can read them. So here's a text color right above what we've been doing there, and I'm going to make that my default color I've been using, which is that 10 CACA. Okay, that's better. I can read that text now. Now I don't want it going all the way across there, but I'm not going to have that many pages here. What I'm going to do is put another little menu below the slider here and just have a few menu items up at the top. but we'll cover that in another video. So let's just publish this, which is effectively saving it. Go back to the site. And now let's take a look at the site. There we go, that's starting to shape up now. There we go, that's starting to shape up now. We've got our logo and our slider in place. I may have to adjust the slider a little bit, but we'll continue building this in the next video. So I hope you've enjoyed that. If you have, please like and share the video and subscribe to our channel. And if you're interested in web development, take one of our web development courses below. We've got some huge discounts for our YouTube subscribers. And there's also some great free courses down there. Once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.